Welcome to the Marin Open Studios marketing workshop about email marketing, specifically more advanced concepts around email marketing. This is a great session for you to be in terms of having that mindset towards using email to promote Marin Open Studios and the information about your specific Open Studios location between now and the first 2 weekends of May. The advanced topics that we cover are a little more along how you can improve upon an existing email marketing strategy versus the more basics. That's because we did do an email marketing basics workshop in the past, and that is on our YouTube playlist. You'll go to our channel, you'll see a full playlist of our past workshops. One of those includes email marketing best practices and initial knowledge you would need to get started with that. For today's workshop, we're focusing more on things that are a little more sophisticated, a little more advanced. We will cover what is email marketing, analytics and stats, emails using ChatGPT or artificial intelligence, adding video to your emails, growing your email list, using QR codes to get people to sign up for your email list during Open Studios, and then we'll get into our Q&A, question and answer session at the end. What is email marketing? Email marketing is not you sending emails from your Gmail account or from your Yahoo account or from your AOL account or your SBC Global. It is not, email marketing does not mean you're sending emails from a personal email inbox. Email marketing as a term means that you are using a platform that monitors the activity of the people that you send emails to so that you know if they opened it, what they clicked on when they opened it, if they unsubscribed, or if it bounced, if they never got it in the first place. These logos that I'm showing here are 4 of the more common platforms in usage in general, but also for artists. So there's MailChimp, this one with the monkey. I work with a lot of artists who have MailChimp newsletters. There's Constant Contact, which is the service that Marin Open Studios uses. So anytime you guys get an email from us, that's through Constant Contact. There's Fosso, which Fosso is known for art websites, but it also includes an email marketing, email sending capability. And then there's ActiveCampaign, which is one of the higher priced, slightly more of an investment there because it involves more around what's called automation, meaning that you have a series of emails that send to people as like a form of a template that you don't have to actually press send, that you can line them up and have them scheduled to send. So we're going to talk today about all of these different topics as they relate to any of these platforms. But specifically, we're going to be looking at the Marin Open Studios, the back end of the Marin Open Studios Constant Contact account. Constant Contact is very similar to MailChimp. So if you have either of these platforms, you should be cool. If you are an artist who has a Fosso account or does your emails through Fosso, it's going to be a little bit different. So the reason why it's important to have one of these platforms, MailChimp or Constant Contact, for instance, or even using your Fosso, to send emails is because when you send an email from a Gmail account or Yahoo or a basic email account, there's no way for you to know if the people you sent it to have received it in the first place. And if they did receive it and they did open it, there's no way for you to know if they clicked any of the links or videos or information that you have in there, like where you direct people to your website or you direct people to your social media. There's no way for you to track it. So the value of having an email marketing platform like MailChimp is my favorite, is because you are able to track conversion. When we talk about conversion in your marketing, it means you can put out a lot of social media posts and you put out a lot of emails leading up to Marin Open Studios, but how many people actually walk through the door? How many people actually come and attend during your Open Studios event? Each person who walks through your door, if they came because you posted about it on social media or they came because you sent them an email, that is a conversion. And so one of the best ways to track conversion is to know, did they even get the email? Did they even open the email? Did they even click the link to your Marin Open Studios page, for instance? For anybody who's on the call right now that doesn't have an email marketing platform, I highly suggest that you put that on your to-do list. If it's not something you're able to open a MailChimp account between now and May, I highly suggest that you put that on your priorities for the summer or before fall so that you can start building your list on these platforms and that you can start looking at the stats and analytics to know, is it worth your time what you're doing in these different marketing efforts to sell your art? Email is one of the most powerful ways to market your art because any art buyer over the age of 40 has a certain level of mistrust about social media or direct messages because we have bots and because we have hackers and because we have people asking, do you want to turn your art into an NFT? That kind of thing. Can I buy your art, but I can only do an e-check, right? All these different scams that we get from time to time. But when it comes to email, that's where people feel the safest having conversations with you about high price point artwork of a high enough dollar amount where they don't exactly feel cool with telling you what forms of payment they can do on Instagram chat or Facebook message, but they'll feel comfortable having that conversation with you on email. So regardless of the price point of your artwork, think of email as the best way to really build a foundation because you can have a lot of social media followers. You can have a lot of people following you on Instagram or liking your Facebook business page. But if Meta were to crash tomorrow, you wouldn't have any information to come away with. You wouldn't have any contact information for those people who are following you. When you build a list through email marketing, like on MailChimp, you own that person's email address once they give it to you. You have that to send information about your art updates, information about your gallery openings, information about open studios, regardless of what's happening on social media. And I don't know if some of you tuned into the fact that Facebook did have a blackout earlier this year. In March, Facebook had a legit crash where Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp were not functioning for a number of hours. So in those moments, that's the perfect time to send out an email to a list because people aren't just killing time on social media. When we talk about analytics and stats, it can mean a lot of things. The number one, probably the most important thing is, did they open the email? Because again, if you're just sending an email from a Gmail or a Yahoo or an AOL, you could be sending to 100 people or 400 people or 1,000 people. But what if only 5 of them actually opened it? Would you really feel like that was worth your time, or that you had a very strong list, or that you had a list you were proud of if only 5 people out of 100 opened it? So open rate is one of the statistics that is reported back to you by these different email marketing platforms. Another one is click rate. Click here to visit my website. Click here to follow me on Instagram. Click here to watch my video on YouTube. When you send an email with a link that someone can click on through MailChimp, it reports back to you how many people opened it, and of those people, how many of them clicked a link and which link. Like, of the 100 people you sent the email to, 80 of them opened the email. Of the 80 people who opened it, 20 of them clicked on your website, or 20 of them clicked on the video. So you have an idea of how much traffic you're driving to other presences online. So it isn't just about sending an email and giving them some information and say, hope to see you there. It's like sending an email and saying RSVP here, or sign up for my art workshop here, or ask me about custom commissions here. These are things where people can click and take action, where you call them to action. You tell them what to do. You ask them to buy a ticket or to sign up for your workshop. And so the click rate helps you to track that. Unsubscribe rate. Unsubscribes are sad. Sometimes you find out that someone you love, a family member, a school friend, your neighbor has unsubscribed from your art list. And it hurts a little bit. I'd say after a while, you just kind of have a thicker skin and get over it. But when you have a report that tells you how many people unsubscribed, that gives you a very specific idea of who on your list is actually interested in your art. If you're just sending art updates to people via Gmail and Yahoo, they can choose to block your email and you'll never know it. So you might be sending emails to someone from your Gmail or your Yahoo, and you send it every time you have an Open Studios, or you send it every time you have a gallery opening, and you think that they're getting it, but they blocked you in 2020 or they blocked you in 2021 and they haven't been getting any of your emails. Whereas with email marketing, you are clear on the people who have told the system, I don't want to get any more of these updates. Another stat that's important is click to open rate. So how many people opened it and how many people clicked it, it's calculating the difference between those two numbers. Like I said, if 80 people opened your email and 20 of them clicked on a link, that's 1 out of 4. That's pretty good. If the number is super low, like 80 people opened your email, only 1 of them clicked the link, then you all of a sudden can make an educated decision about how you write your emails, how you design your emails. Are your emails too long? Do they have too much text in them? Do your emails have too many images in them for people to scroll through, where all of a sudden they don't even know where to click because there's just like too much to look at? So anytime you're able to access these statistics, it helps you become better at communicating with your list, putting out content that prompts people to take action, which leads to them converting, which leads to them walking through your door during Open Studios. The bounce rate is really important. A bounce rate means that that person no longer has that email address. That person's email inbox is full. They couldn't receive another one if they wanted to. It could mean that there's an issue with the system on their side. Their email inbox is having a glitch. Or it could mean that they're on vacation. You know, you put out of office auto reply on a work email, that'll bounce back to certain senders because you've said, I'm not receiving any emails for my sabbatical, that kind of thing. So the bounce rate helps you to know how many people on your list have old emails, like pre-COVID emails. If you've got a whole bunch of email addresses on a list and most of those emails are 10 years old or older than that, those people might not even have those email addresses anymore. So the bounce rate helps you to calculate how many people are actually receiving the email based on it being the correct address for them. Conversion rate would be you're sending out an update for like artist workshops. You send it out, 80 people open it, 20 people click the workshop link, 5 of them sign up. So you're able to calculate, of the people who clicked through and looked at the page about your workshop, your art workshop that you're hosting, you can calculate what percentage of them converted, what percentage of them gave you money to come to that workshop. These other ones like deliverability, email list size or growth rate, spam complaint rate, this is where we're getting into less and less important statistics, but it all has to do with, are you losing people every time you send an email? Not just in terms of unsubscribing or spam reports, but like, are people not reading your emails all the way through, or are people looking at your emails once and being like, I don't want to get these anymore? So these other stats, again, the importance of email marketing is that you can figure out what you need to be doing differently for your emails going forward. So an open rate, like let's say you have a really low open rate, you send 1,000 emails, only 20 people opened it. That has to do with your subject line, which we're about to get to, how to use ChatGPT and AI. But if you have a bad subject line or a boring subject line and someone sees that subject line in their email inbox and they're like, meh, and they don't click on it, then you need to rethink what you're putting as the subject line for your emails. You got to be a little more clever. You got to be a little more creative with what you're doing. So I know that this is a lot of information, just looking at a bar graph forever, but let's actually look at what this looks like on an email marketing platform. So I'm logging in as Marin Open Studios on Constant Contact, which again is very similar to MailChimp. And if you were to ask me which one I would endorse for someone who's never done email marketing before, I recommend MailChimp. But this is what Constant Contact has, or what Marin Open Studios has. So if we were to go and look at the gala event invite that I just sent. So I just sent this earlier today, 2:58 p.m., so only about 3 hours ago, and I sent it to our larger list, which for Marin Open Studios is over 4,100 email addresses. So this is to help get people to come to our gala fundraiser on April 27th. So if I click here on this little triple dot to the right of the name of the email, the first option on the menu is reporting. And this is where we're going to see all these stats. So it's sent to 4,181 people, 4,181 people. Of that number of people, 27.8% of those people opened the email, or as you can see, 1,158 out of 4,100. So roughly a little more than 1 out of 4 people who saw the email in their inbox opened it. Then the click rate is 1.3%. So of the 1,158 people who opened this email in the last 3 hours, 53 of those people clicked the button that said, buy a ticket to the fundraising gala, right? In the fundraising gala, the artist party is free. Come one, come all in terms of 2024 artists. The gala is $50 a person. So every time someone clicks on that link and buys an Eventbrite ticket for $50, that would be our conversion. At this point, we have 23 bounces. So those are people who, again, it's an old email address or their mailbox is full, or they have some sort of glitch in their AOL or their Yahoo or their SBC Global. And then 3 people have unsubscribed. So out of like 1,158 opens, only having 3 people unsubscribe is pretty fantastic. The average, if we were to click that, the average unsubscribe rate is about 1%, and ours is 0.1%. And then this also tells you, this is interesting, of the 1,158 people who opened the email, over 97% of those opened it on a computer or a desktop, which gives you some indication of the age of the list, of the age of the people on the list. Only 2.5% were opened on smartphones. Some of this might have to do with time of day. It's closer to the end of the afternoon, more people are home or they're working from home perhaps, but that should give you some insight into, should you have a longer email, which maybe people would read a longer email on a computer, or should you have a shorter email because people don't have as much time when they're on their mobile device. One thing that's really cool about this too is we have what's called a heat map for clicking, for the click-through rate. So this shows you that on our email design, purchase tickets now, this goes to the Eventbrite. This shows you like where people clicked here. And then we scroll down a little farther. We also had a donate button. And then we also had a button to watch a little video that we did of last year's preview gallery, because obviously we haven't set up the art yet for this year. So it gives you an idea based on the size of the circles, where did most people click? So some people clicked here, some people clicked here, can't attend, so they're going to donate instead. But the bigger circle is here, where people wanted to see a little video that we made of the artwork that was in the preview gallery in 2023. This is sophisticated stuff, guys, because now you know to the number how many people opened, how many people clicked. Just to protect the email addresses of the people on the Marin Open Studios list, I'm not going to click here or here, but if I did click on any of these blue numbers, it would actually give me the list of the email addresses of the people who opened, who clicked, who bounced, who unsubscribed. It gives you all of that information in detail. You see exactly who opened it and exactly who clicked through. If you guys have any questions so far on what we're covering, please put that in the chat. All right, so that's analytics and stats. The main reason you want to have a MailChimp or an email marketing account is to be able to track how efficacious your communications are being, not just like yelling off into the ether and hoping that someone's listening. Emails with ChatGPT. So this is where we're talking about artificial intelligence. I did a few workshops last year where we touched on this technology, but it is literally the best tool you can possibly use for written content, meaning anytime you feel like you'd have any sort of writer's block around what should my email be about, or how should I describe Open Studios, or what should the subject line of my email be? Caron says that I should have more interesting subject lines. Well, what can that be? So if we go to ChatGPT, which if you don't have a ChatGPT account, it's free. It's called ChatGPT, but technically the website is called chat.openai.com. Just make sure you see this little logo. So we go to ChatGPT. I already have a free account and it has me logged in. So I'm going to use Melissa Woodburn as a guinea pig. How you prompt ChatGPT is it has this little field down here, message ChatGPT, and anything you type in here, you're basically communicating with a robot, a very knowledgeable robot that has access to the verbiage of websites and blogs around the world for the last, for basically the age of the internet. If we were to go on here, you want to prompt, it's called prompting AI, to give you specific verbiage for a specific platform or purpose. So you say, my name is Melissa Woodburn. I am an artist based in Marin County. I make one-of-a-kind sculptural objects made of ceramic and fiber. So you give it just the most basic information. I say I'm an artist based in Marin County. She could say the specific city, right? She could be specific about like what kind of ceramic. I'm not a sculptor, so I don't know if there's different kinds of ceramic, but you can get more specific if you want. But you want like one sentence that introduces you to the robot. Then your second sentence tells the robot what you want and for what purpose in terms of written verbiage. So you can say, write me a 5-page or 5-paragraph, I should say, paragraph email to promote my Open Studios event happening, we'll just say the first 2 weekends of May. Dear art enthusiasts, I hope this email finds you well and filled with anticipation for the vibrant art scene that awaits in Marin County. I'm thrilled to extend a personal invitation to you all to join me at my upcoming Open Studios event happening over the first 2 weekends of May. As an artist deeply passionate about exploring the intersections between ceramic and fiber art, I'm excited to showcase my latest collection of one-of-a-kind sculptural objects. During the event, you'll have the exclusive opportunity to immerse yourself in a world where creativity knows no bounds. Blah, blah, blah. For anybody who's had any experience with ChatGPT, I think she's a woman because she has flowery verbiage. She uses a lot of adjectives. She's very descriptive. How she talks, that's right, ChatGPT, I know you're listening to me. I think you're a woman. How she talks is not how most people talk necessarily. Let's say that Melissa is very feminine and verbose and loquacious, and she just totally, like, this is exactly how she feels like she would talk. I truly hope you'll join me in celebrating art, creativity, and community at my Open Studios event. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to share my latest creations with you. Mark your calendars the first 2 weekends of May and get ready for an unforgettable experience. Let's just say Melissa's like, yes, that's me. Then you would go to the bottom here, you would press this little teeny button that looks like a clipboard, you'd hit copy, and you would paste that into your email. There's your verbiage, auto-generated for you, customized to your locality, your name, and your type of art, literally in seconds. I personally am not a total girly girl when it comes to my verbiage. I like to wear pink and frilly dresses, but I don't speak the way that this speaks. So you cue it, you prompt it again, and you say, rewrite it shorter and with less flowery language. I'm Melissa Woodburn, an artist based in Marin County, specializing in one-of-a-kind sculptural objects made of ceramic and fiber. I'm excited to invite you to my Open Studios event happening the first 2 weekends of May. Simple, clean, so effective, right? This is how you can, if between these two, Melissa feels like I like the simple one, but I actually kind of liked some of those flowery sentences from the first one, The whole point of ChatGPT is this gets you started. You copy this verbiage, you paste it into your email template, and then you can add to it. You can put a few adjectives in there. You can add a little more description. If she doesn't want to say first 2 weekends of May, she can say May 4th, 5th, 11th, and 12th from 11 to 6, right? You can do anything you want to customize it, but it gets you going. And what's nice is that you can ask it to do this for any platform, any social media, any form of communication, press releases. You can, how about this? This is a fun one. I'm just having fun now. Make it into a poem. In Marin County, where the breezes sigh, a sculptor's studio catches the eye. Melissa Woodburn, her name renowned, in ceramic and fiber, beauty is found. It's pretty amazing. So then you say, for this one, you'd say, write 10 email subject lines for an event invite to Marin Open Studios, inviting people to come see my art in person the first 2 weekends of May. So then you go through these and you pick one that kind of speaks to you. You pick one that turns a phrase in a way that you like. Explore creativity in clay and fiber. Discover unique sculptural art. Dive into artistic inspiration. Join us for a weekend of art. Experience art in person. Save the date, right? You can say make them shorter and without my name. Because if you already have an email that says it's from Melissa Woodburn, you don't need to be putting your own name maybe into the subject line, right? Keep it shorter. Step into creativity, visit us in Marin, dive into inspiration, visit our studio, art unveiled, Marin Open Studios invite. So again, ChatGPT is a free platform. There's a paid version. You don't need it. Just like with Canva, which we covered in January, there's a paid version of that. You don't need it. The free version is fine. I highly recommend, if you are the kind of person who like you're great at art, but you're not great at writing, sign up for ChatGPT, sign up for a free account and start using it, because you can do it for your social media as well, right? You can go back to this first one and you can say, we're going to copy that and we can say, rewrite this as an Instagram post, and we're going to paste the verbiage it gave us before. I'm going to take out this little thing. When you say social media, it definitely puts emojis in there. And sometimes when you say it's for a specific social media platform, it can be kind of flippant, almost like youthful in the way that they do it. But again, it's just finding different ways of phrasing it. You can also, we're not going to go any deeper down this rabbit hole because I have to get to the other topics, but you can say rewrite it as a script for a video. Let's say Melissa wanted to make a video of herself talking about Marin Open Studios. This is fun because it has camera angles as well. Cut to Melissa smiling at the camera. So mark your calendars, spread the word. Just keep ChatGPT in your back pocket for anything having to do with verbiage around promoting yourself on email marketing. Beyond the writing of emails, one of the best things you can do to improve your open rate is add video to your emails. In order to add a video to MailChimp or to Constant Contact, you have to upload a video to YouTube first. So if we are back here in the Marin Open Studios Constant Contact and we go to all campaigns, so I sent you guys the reminder for today's workshop, and that had the recording of the past workshop that is now on the YouTube channel. So if we were to go to, I'm going to have fun. We're going to make a copy of this. So that's another cool thing about email marketing. Once you make an email that you like, you can just copy it and it'll have the same layout for you. So we had the description of the workshop and the button for you guys to join the Zoom room. And then down here, did you miss our last workshop? And as you can see, there is a little video player here with a play button. If we were to click on that button, so if we just go to preview, if we click on this button, it takes us to YouTube, where we can now watch that video. And what's important about that is that not only do you have the video appearing here for people to watch when they come from your email, it's also on YouTube, which is owned by Google, which helps with your search results. And anything that you put on YouTube can also be put onto a website by embedding it. So if we're like, well, how do we do that? When you're in your email design, I'm just going to go ahead and click this. We click edit. So basically you add a video block to your email. So we drag these are the blocks, the different parts of the email that you can build. So you drag this over here. Let's pretend we're going to have 2 videos, and we hit edit, and I paste the link to that video. So all that means is that we go here to the video, you hit share underneath the video, and you copy the link for that YouTube video. You paste that here, and it'll auto-populate the cover image for that video, and it'll have that little play button there so that people know that they can click on it, and that means that it will turn into a video. It's not just a photo. And you hit insert. And this becomes one of the trackable, clickable elements of your email, where you could follow up with someone and say, hi, I saw that you watched my new video. What did you think? Do you have any feedback? That kind of thing. It can start a conversation when you're able to track that. It's of course taking ages to, but this is how it looks. So when you play around with it, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller in terms of the design. If I wanted to make this fancy, maybe I would put black behind it to match the black background around it. But this is one of the best ways to improve your open rate, is that in the subject line, you would say, you know, Melissa's art events for summer, and then you can put the word video in that subject line. That will increase the click open rate. It'll increase the open rate of your emails because people would rather watch a video about something that you're doing than read a whole bunch of text. I don't mean to make that blanket statement, but overall, people would rather be presented with an artistic video about a topic than to have to read a whole bunch of paragraphs and use critical thinking to decide whether or not they liked it or not. So adding a video to your emails every time you send one is a great way to improve the open rate, but then also the click rate. As we saw when we looked at that heat map on Constant Contact, when we go back to all campaigns and we go back to the one that we sent to the bigger group, the gala event invite, and we go to reporting, they could have clicked to purchase a ticket and they could have clicked to donate, both of which mean money coming out of their pocket, right? They click here, it's $50. They click here, they're donating to Marin Open Studios. They click here, they're not paying any money, they're just watching a cute little video. When you have video in your emails, if it's an email marketing platform, you know how many people watch that video, and then that'll show you why. That'll show you the logic behind having videos in your emails. To date, still, most artists who send out email marketing or email newsletters don't put videos in their emails. So when you do, it helps you stand out compared to other artists. So that's adding video to emails. If you guys have any questions about that, let me know. But basically you put it on YouTube first, copy the link from the YouTube video, and then you paste that link into what's considered like a video block in the email design. In terms of growing your list, so this is one of the more important things. I know some of you probably have had a piece of binder paper or a clipboard at your Open Studio where it says sign up for my list or sign up for my art newsletter, and people actually with a pen write their name and then write their email list. There are 2 issues with that. One is that anybody who visits your studio, if they look at that piece of paper, they could just take out their phone, take a picture of it, and all of a sudden have a whole bunch of people's email addresses. So it's like you have other people's kind of private information out in public for anybody to see in your little guest book. So that's one reason why having a written sign-in sheet where people put their email address isn't the best way to go. Another reason why that's not the best way to go is that some people have horrible handwriting. And if you're there after Open Studios going through pages and pages of people writing out emails in like cursive, and you can't figure out is that an L or a lowercase I, or is that a T without the cross on it? It ends up being where you might get a bounce, like we were talking about before. If it is not a legit or correctly spelled email, it will not send. What I recommend in terms of growing your list is through, again, these email marketing platforms, you can create what's called a sign-up form or a sign-in form for someone to put themselves on your list through a computer or an iPad or even a phone. So if we're in Constant Contact, and we go to marketing. And then over here, you can see there's a menu that says landing pages or sign up forms. And we go to sign up form. These platforms, MailChimp and Constant Contact, enable you to create a custom sign up page that you can just basically have open on a laptop or on an iPad in your studio when you have open studios, that people can then type in their name, first name, last name, email address, and then it automatically saves into MailChimp or Constant Contact for you. You don't have to do any data entry. You don't have to try to read people's chicken scratches. So if we click on this sign up page, you'll see that there's a whole design element to it where you can choose like what the verbiage is on it, or if there's any background images. So right now I have a collage of different artworks from the 2023 artists. And then I have an image of our tour guide, and it just says, stay in the know about local art events. Get on our exclusive VIP mailing list and be the first to know about pop-up exhibits, juried shows, gallery happenings, and more. And someone can come and do email address, first name, last name, click the button, saved. You don't have to go through papers. You don't have to do a bunch of catch up after Open Studios adding people to your list. This also puts more trust into the platform in terms of your account being legit, because you didn't type in their name for them and then tell the platform, yes, I have permission to add this person. Someone did it for themselves, and that makes MailChimp or Constant Contact think, oh, this person, it's not implied that they wanted to be on your list. They have officially subscribed themselves, which means you are more trustworthy as a sender, which means this platform is going to send your emails to people, you know, more effectively. And so you would just have this open again on an iPad or on your laptop, open on the same little table where you would have that piece of paper and a pen. You would have a device where people can just boop, 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 send it in themselves. You could do it on a phone. It's a little bit smaller. It's also you handing over your phone to them, right? So that's why we're going to get to the last part of growing your list. And also, by the way, the link for this tour guide, if you, for instance, go to Marin Open Studios on Instagram, we click on their links and it says art event updates straight to your inbox. And we click on that from Instagram, it takes you to that same page. So it isn't just something you would use in person during the actual weekends. It's something that you can put into the links on your Instagram account, into your link tree for people who have that, into, you can have links on your YouTube channel, you can have links, or on your website. You can have a page on your website that says sign up for my VIP art list, and it links to this sign up form, to a sign up form that puts people directly into the platform that you're sending your emails from. To grow your list, I highly recommend having a sign up form that you put into all the places online, website, social media, but that also you have on a screen or on a device that people can fill out when they're visiting you in person. The last thing we'll cover today is QR codes. So when I was just talking about you could have a sign up form on a phone, well, that's like you handing your phone to somebody, which maybe you don't want to hand your phone to a random stranger. Not like they're going to run off with it, but you know, it's got all your stuff on there. So when you have a scannable QR code on a piece of paper or on this is on like a little acrylic thing that I got from like FedEx Kinko's, you have that on display next to your art or on your page. Someone can hold their phone up to it with their camera on, scan the code, and then that can take them to the sign up form that I just showed you. So they're still doing it on a device, but it's their device. It's not your laptop. It's not your iPad. It's just where they scan it and they can put themselves on your list on their phone in the moment. If you plan on having a lot of foot traffic or a lot of people coming into your studio at once, imagine someone is waiting to talk to you about a sculpture or a piece of artwork, but you're talking to someone else. They could be subscribing to your email list by scanning that QR code while they're waiting for you, in the same way that they would, you know, read your artist bio while they're waiting for you. It's having things for them to do, ways that they can support you while they're waiting to talk to you face to face. For QR codes, I do a little search called QR code generator, And there's a couple of sponsored ones here that show up at the top. My favorite one is this one. It's qr-code-generator.com. You do not need an account for this. And basically you just take a link and you paste it here and it'll generate a QR code for you. So I can copy this link for my sign up form. I paste it here into the QR code generator. And if any of you were to pick up your phone right now, hold it up to the computer screen, open your camera. You don't actually take a picture of it, but you just hold your phone up to this little code that you see on the right-hand side. It should take you to the Marin Open Studios sign up page. I'm not telling you have to sign up. You guys are already on our artist list. But if I were to scan it right now on my phone and I press the little link, it shows up on mine. What you would then do is, this is a JPEG. You go down here where it says download as a JPEG, which is the same as just like a photo. You would hit download. That would download to your computer. And then you can put a QR code onto a sign. You can put a QR code onto a label for your artworks. You could put a QR code onto a business card. You can put it onto a flyer. Or if you pay for advertising in something like the tour guide, you could have a QR code in your ad and people can hold their phone up to a magazine page and be taken to wherever you want to go. This doesn't just work for sign-up forms. It works for your social media. It works for your website, works for review sites like Yelp, works for your Marin Open Studios link. If you do not already use QR codes in any part of your marketing or your email list building, I highly recommend printing out on a piece of paper, just a little black and white QR code. And if somebody's like, oh, can I be on your list? You're like, sure, pick up your phone and scan this code right here. And they can sign up right on the spot. So that's it for this part of the presentation. In terms of Q&A, I'm going to look real quick. I know we're basically at the hour, so I appreciate you guys giving your time. Melissa says, will a Canva video upload to YouTube? So Melissa, when you create a video on Canva, you just save it to your computer as a video file, and then you upload it to YouTube. So I wouldn't connect or try to go directly from Canva to YouTube. You save your video, download it from Canva, and then you upload it to YouTube. Nikki says, would you put a video link in the bottom, as people often don't return back to the email once they are on YouTube watching the video? Actually, Nikki, I find people do return, but yes, you can put the video anywhere. As you saw, that video that I included in both of the examples I showed you, they were at the bottom. So yeah, you definitely could put the video at the bottom if you're concerned about that. And then Nikki also said, did you set up the sign up form within the newsletter platform you use within MailChimp in my case? Yes, Nikki. So you can customize your sign up form on MailChimp or on Constant Contact, custom background, custom font, anything you want to do to make it more in your style or more in line with your branding for your website or your art. It's all built into Form Builder is what it's called, and it's built into Constant Contact and MailChimp. It's part of what you have access to in that platform.
I have a question. Quick.
Sure, go ahead.
How do you create a distribution list when you write an email on, say, MailChimp? Is there something that you had to type in yourself to create a new distribution list in that platform?
So let's say that you have all of your emails, if people you've ever emailed before is on your Gmail account. You would go to Google, you would go to your Google contacts, and then you would select you just check mark next to the names of the people that you want to send your art updates to, like this person, but not that person, check, 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 check. And then on the far right, there's a little triple dot that says a drop-down menu that says export. And you can export the name, first name, last name, and email address of as many people as you want at once. It could be 5 people, it could be 5,000. And you say export as a CSV. It's a comma separated values form. And then when you go to MailChimp and you go to, it has a button that says add new contacts or add more contacts. One of the options is type them in one by one, type in first name, type in last name, type in email, right? Very slow. The other option is upload. And when you click the upload option, you can basically upload this document that Google Contacts created for you. You do a little bit of, it might ask you, are these the first names? Or are these the last names? And you're like, these are the first names, these are the last names based on the names on your list, like Sarah, John, Judy. Okay, those are the first names. Brown, Stevens, White, whatever, those are last names, just so it has it straight. You press import, all of those are in there as contacts, and you don't have to do any data entry. In terms of like distribution lists, you can create specific lists. So like our Marin Open Studios, we have an artist list that's just for 2024 registered artists. And then we have a general interest list, which is that 4,100 that we just sent an update to. And then we have like a board of directors list, like with 12 people on it for a current board of directors. We've got the donors list. So you can definitely make different categories of people. I'm a photographer, videographer, and artist. So it's like sometimes I send art updates out just to people who've attended art events that I've done. And sometimes I send photography, videography, tips just to people who've ever hired me for photography or videography work, that kind of thing. If you do more than one thing, or you have people you've met in more than one way, or some people like to have a friends and family list. Some people like to have a art buyers or art collectors list, people that have purchased from them before. And some people are just like Open Studios is the list, right? Anybody who's ever attended at Open Studios, that's all one list. But that way, at least you have an idea of who you're sending to when you have maybe a specific type of email. Why would you have a list of people that had bought from you before? Maybe you send an email to them saying, have you bought art from me before? You know that they have because they're on the list. Write a review for me on my Facebook page or on my Yelp page or on my Google business page, and people can go and do 5 stars. She's so great. We love our art we bought from her. Or, I attended her workshop and I learned so much, and I highly recommend attending her workshop. You could send it to a whole general list and say, have you worked with me before? But if you're keeping track of the ones who have bought from you, then you can do targeted campaigns to people on those types of lists to get specific calls to action.
Thank you.
All right, if there aren't any other questions, guys, I did want to offer this. So this is a QR code to schedule a 15-minute Zoom call with me. If you are just, all of that was over my head, I can't even, or if you are one of the people who said you do not have an email marketing platform and that you are interested in having a little more of a conversation about exactly how to do that, because today was a little more advanced topic. Or if you want to have a little more guidance on ChatGPT, if some of that was like prompting was a little over your head, hold up your phone to the screen, scan this QR code, schedule a totally free complimentary 15-minute Zoom call with me. It'll be you and I one-on-one. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about anything we covered. It could also be outside of what we covered. You have Instagram questions, Reels questions, video editing questions. Just give that a scan, put yourself on my calendar. We do only have a few weeks left between now and Marin Open Studios, so I do want to make myself available to you guys. And if it's ever anything where it doesn't really, you're not feel a little shy about asking a question right now in the group, I'm happy to chat with you one-to-one. All right, guys, thank you to everybody who came, asking questions and sharing a little bit about what you're currently doing. As you guys know, I'm available anytime to answer any questions. So please do schedule that 15-minute with me if you want to go into any of these individual topics on a one-to-one basis. I want to make myself available to you guys and help you get the best that you can out of Open Studios. If you did have any feedback on future topics that you would like covered for our live workshops, please do email into us and let us know. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday night. Cheers. Bye. Sayonara. Ciao for now.